Well, their heads were quite large for their bodies, and it fooled them into thinking they weren't dumb. They did guns, extreme sports and special hobbies, and cool tricks with their fingers and thumbs. And they thought that they were guaranteed delivered by some guy in Roman sandals and a beard. So they bought and they fought and they twittered. By 2153 they disappeared. Oh, they waited for their God in vain. Waited for their God in vain. On that last big play, on that final day, they waited for their God in vain. Well, they went for the literal translation of every text and symbol, sacred, weird and screed. They obsessed over minor variations, misconstrued the truth to justify their deeds. And they thought all the others were afflicted, those who knew the secret handshake would be saved. And they thought in the end they'd all be lifted. Now they're lying in the mess that they've made. Oh, they waited for their God in vain. Waited for their God in vain. Standing by that airport, waiting for the transport plane, they waited for their God in vain. They waited for their God in vain. Waited for their God in vain. When they called out to their God, each one used a different name. They waited for their God in vain. What did they do, ladies and gentlemen? 1, 2, 3. They waited for their God in vain. Waited for their God in vain. This is all we can conclude from what's left of their remains. They waited for their God in vain.